Starting nationally tonight with news on President Trump's re-election campaign, officially starting this Tuesday with a rally in Florida. Several protests calling for him to be impeached were held across the country today. CBS's Nicole Killian has more from the White House.
President Trump officially kicks off his 2020 re-election campaign on Tuesday with a rally in Orlando, Florida. On Saturday, the president tweeted, "Despite the greatest presidential harassment of all time by people that are very dishonest and want to destroy our country, we are doing great in the polls, even better than in 2016. A recent poll showed President Trump trailing Joe Biden and other leading Democrats in several key swing states. Earlier this week, the president dismissed the importance of polls. President Trump tweeted about his own performance on the economy and warned, "If anyone but me takes over in 2020, there will be a market crash, the likes of which has not been seen before." The Trump campaign reportedly plans to sharpen its focus on Elizabeth Warren and worries her populist message could be a challenge. A Trump advisor tells CBS News some in the president's camp believe the Massachusetts senator may be the real deal. On Saturday, protesters gathered in a number of cities for a day of action demanding the president be impeached.
But now it's on us, the people, to demand that the U.S. Congress initiate impeachment inquiry so we get answers to expose the depth of the corruption of this administration.
While counter-protesters also made their voices heard.
We are in our corner supporting our president.
Michigan Democratic Congressman Andy Levin said on Saturday he now supports efforts by more than 60 other House Democrats to begin impeachment hearings. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
And the 2020 presidential election is 507 days away. The 2020 political landscape here in Montana has been getting one seismic shift after another, and today was no exception. At the Republican Party state convention in Helena, another GOP candidate unveiled his plans to change offices in 2020. MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison was there and tells us what happened.
On Friday, we had Congressman Greg Gianforte telling fellow Republicans he's running for governor in 2020. And on Saturday morning, that move prompted a prior gubernatorial candidate to switch gears, Montana Secretary of State Corey Stapleton.
Today I'm announcing that I am running, as Greg Gianforte leaves that House seat, I am running to keep and win Greg Gianforte's House seat. I'm running for Congress, and I would love your support.
Stapleton said he's best positioned to keep Montana's U.S. House seat in Republican hands, and that plenty of good Republicans already are running for governor. In fact, his speech at the convention followed comments by two of those candidates, Attorney General Tim Fox and State Senator Al Olszewski of Kalispell. Fox emphasized his background in law enforcement and said a top priority as governor would be cracking down on illegal drugs in Montana.
We have to stop this poison from entering our country in the first place, and that's why our border security is the top of my list. While we may be over 1,000 miles away from Mexico, Montana is impacted every day by insufficient border security.
Olszewski, an orthopedic surgeon, said he's the gubernatorial candidate who can unify the Republican Party and reach out to independent voters on issues like health care.
We need to win the hearts and the minds of the independent Montana voter. And I'll tell you, President Trump hit it right on the head. The Republican Party in 2020 needs to be the party of health care. And who else can champion that than a doctor?
Democratic Governor Steve Bullock is term limited and can't run again in 2020. That makes it a wide open race, just like the U.S. House race and other statewide seats as well. Republicans like to talk about their steady march to power in Montana. But now, many of their top political figures will battle each other for statewide seats in 2020. And don't think this won't be the last domino to fall in these top-tier races. In Helena, I'm Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Now, two Democrats are already running for the now open U.S. House seats, Kathleen Williams, who lost to Gianforte in 2018, and State Representative Tom Winter of Missoula. Casey Schreiner, a candidate for Montana's governor's position, held a public meeting event today in Billings at the Thirsty Street Brewing Company. He met with the community to talk about issues like education, healthcare, and job construction for the Treasure State. Now, having served as the Democratic leader in the House of Representatives, Schreiner credits himself for creating bipartisanship, protecting healthcare, and passing infrastructure packages. Here's what he had to say about today's event.
I'm here to kick off my campaign for governor, and I figure, we're doing a kickoff tour. We started in eastern Montana. We're sweeping back through the Magic City on our way back home. Wanted to talk to folks in Billings about why we need to take this governor's race seriously. At the end of the day, Montana's governor should know what it's like to live like the rest of us, and I intend to do that. And I think that we need to fight to make sure that Montana families have a chance to get ahead, and I think that I'm a good advocate and ally for that.
And joining me now is Rob Griggs with weather. And I noticed right before the news there was a couple raindrops outside. Does that mean that Father's Day is a wash?
Well, no, that's a great question because it's wet outside right now, but I think largely we're going to have one of those nice Father's Day Sundays. Temperatures be pretty nice, but you're right, Zoe, we do have some rain passing through the area, in the Billings area right now, 70 degrees and southeast wind about 6 miles an hour. Let me show you what we had today for a high. 80 degrees, 53 was the overnight low. No official count on precipitation, but yeah, we did get a splash. Early this morning at 5:30, just near Roundup, almost 2 inches of rain with one of those slow-moving rainstorms that moved through. That's really the only storm report we have across the state. But as you can see right now, across portions of south central Montana, northern Wyoming, different areas experiencing showers and even a few thunderstorms out there right now. And that'll be the splash and dash variety throughout the evening. As far as Father's Day is concerned and beyond, I have the complete Q2 Storm Tracker forecast in just mere moments. Zoe?
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, the weather was beautiful this morning for an annual run here in Billings, and it's become a tradition for families the day before Father's Day. Q2's David J. takes us to the 40th annual Heart and Soul Run.
Runners start the 5K race. The Heart and Soul race also includes a 10K and a 2-mile.
Father's Day weekend, and just getting out here, being fun, active as a family, having a great day.
Anybody who's out here participating, just out socializing with friends and family and community is a neat thing.
Whether they're running or walking, it's all about getting out on the course and getting some exercise before finishing up here at Dealer Park.
It's super important to encourage kids at a young age to be active and healthy, and kind of a family tradition for us to get out here and do the race together as a family.
Especially when they hold it on Father's Day weekend, there's a lot of families that do the run together.
Many enjoy the tradition of the annual race.
A lot of families are planning the weekend somewhat to start with the Heart and Soul Run.
Racers, take your mark. You have your super athletic people, and then again, it was just fun to see all the different families pushing strollers, carrying them on their shoulders and walking, just trying to get through the finish line and being together.
We support the active living. We support Heart and Soul. We really appreciate all the community folks.
It's just something that we look forward to every year this weekend. Come out and do this race together. It's not competitive, just showing the kids that they can do something fun and be healthy.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Well, great turnout for that. Now, the Active Life Festival at Dealer Park is part of the Heart and Soul Run. The money raised from the run goes to help the YMCA and Billings TrailNet. Well, shiny rims, engines revving, and it was a great day for dads and other car enthusiasts who brought their classics to the Shrine parking lot. The annual Billings Car Show traditionally is the Saturday before Father's Day. The Yellowstone Valley Mustang Club puts on the show, which is open to all makes and models. The show featured more than 100 cars, and many enjoy the people and the good times of sharing their passion for cars.
Everybody here loves cars, some of them for different reasons, some nostalgia. I had this in high school or this kind of a car, but that's what it's about. It brings back memories. It's the history of the car. And we fell in love with cars and what they represented. It was freedom. You can get in your car and go. Every car person has their reason for what they love.
The Yellowstone Valley Mustang Club donates the proceeds from several car shows to the Shriners Children's Hospital, Tumbleweed, and senior programs. Well, today marked the second day of the 13th annual Lewis and Clark Festival. Events kicked off last night with bluegrass in the park and continued at 10 this morning in Gibson Park in Great Falls. Today's festivities began with a black powder rifle demonstration and Native American dancers. Members of the Lewis and Clark Honor Guard taught history lessons and reenacted activities that were popular during the 19th century. Now, the fun continues all weekend with a historic tour of Portage Road and a lunch outing to Ryan Dam Island. The Lewis and Clark Festival is an annual fundraiser for the Lewis and Clark Foundation that commemorates the Corps of Discovery's expedition through Montana in 1805. Lewis and Clark Foundation Executive Director Jay Russell says the success of this year's festival shows just how much interest the community of Great Falls has for its history.
It's fun to see so many people come out to really learn more about Lewis and Clark and the native tribes they encountered and what life was like back then. We have had another great crowd this year, and one thing we've done different this year, we've kind of condensed it and pulled everything a little bit closer in, and so it's just full of people and life and a lot going on.
Well, stay with us. More to come on the 10 o'clock news. You may have heard of smart homes, but what about smart communities? After the break, we show you just what that entails. Later in sports, Montana tries to make it 5 straight wins over North Dakota in the Badlands Bowl. Highlights from Miles City on the way.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.